Tell me honestly, have you ever dreamed of dropping everything and just walking away? The job, the gray routine, the endless monotony. Just grabbing a one-way ticket, flying somewhere far, and starting over from scratch. Zaliya, the woman at the center of today's story, didn't just dream it. She did it. A smart, beautiful young teacher from Chelyabinsk, she realized one day that she wasn't living her own life. So she decided to change everything, and she did. But dreaming of adventure, she likely had no idea how dark the road ahead would become. What truly surprises me is how little coverage this case has gotten in our media. While it's gaining traction mostly in the West. And that's strange because, let me tell you, this is a case of shocking injustice, one you'll soon understand for yourself. And the truth is, we might actually be able to impact how this story ends, but more on that later. This is the story of a good, kind, honest young woman who went looking for herself and fell into a trap. It's about love, betrayal, and murder. A story that won't leave your mind. Zaliya was born in 1995 in a small Russian town called Ucheli, nestled between Bashkortostan and the Chelyabinsk region. A quiet place where everyone knows each other and news travels faster than the internet. The kind of town where nothing much happens, and where anyone who walks their own path stands out immediately. Her family remembers her as bright, active, and incredibly smart. At school, she was always among the best, in academics, competitions, performances. The type of girl asked to lead assemblies, sing at events, and take part in 3 contests back to back. Everyone knew, if you needed help, Zaliya would show up. She dreamed of traveling from a young age. She loved English and by her teenage years was reading Shakespeare in the original. Think about that. What were you reading at 16? She was choosing Shakespeare not because someone made her, but because she was genuinely interested. Language and literature were her window to the world. Her family supported her in everything. When she said she wanted to move to Chelyabinsk to attend university, no one stopped her. They knew she wasn't someone you could keep at home. So in 2013, Zaliya enrolled at South Ural State University. She threw herself into student life, volunteering, organizing events, making new friends. Her energy seemed endless. In 2014, she even carried the Olympic torch for Sochi. It wasn't just a photo op, it was something she'd earned, something her hometown and university were proud of. After graduating, she enrolled in a master's program and started working, first as a tutor, translator, consultant. Later, she got a full-time job at a local branch of the Academy of Labor and Social Relations. She taught English, later HR, and even developed her own original course. She put serious effort into her work, making sure her students were engaged and inspired. Her colleagues respected her, her bosses praised her. On paper, she had everything: a stable job, income, respect. But over time, it all started to feel the same, each day blending into the next. Lectures, meetings, consultations, then home and repeat. Her calendar looked like it belonged to a robot. Even relaxing with a cup of tea became impossible. She'd collapse onto the couch at night, exhausted, and still feel empty inside. Eventually, she said, enough." She quit her job, went remote, and bought a one-way ticket to Cape Town, South Africa. No set plan, just a feeling that she had to go. All she took with her was a laptop, a bit of money, and a long list of dreams. In the span of a year, she visited over 10 countries: South Africa, Namibia, Tanzania, Botswana. Every few weeks, a new country, a new city, a new vibe. She worked remotely, taught online classes, and stayed in touch with her family. Her Instagram stories showed oceans, sunsets, local markets, warm people. From the outside, it looked like she'd found her freedom. And she really felt it. She was finally living on her own terms. If she wanted to hike a mountain, she hiked. If she wanted to ride a bus somewhere new, she did. No one asking where she was or why. No reports, no deadlines. But freedom, especially as a young woman alone in another country, was layered and risky. You need to be careful. And Zaliya, unfortunately, wasn't. Friends would later say she was too trusting. She could meet someone on the street and go to a bar with them the next day. Not because she was naive, but because she believed in the good in people. In her mind, if someone smiled, they were kind. If they asked you to coffee, they just wanted to chat. She believed most people were good, but the world doesn't always work that way. Especially not when you're far from home and alone. In June 2024, during the Southern Hemisphere winter, Zaliya moved to Mauritius, a small island in the Indian Ocean. A tropical paradise with beaches, mango trees, and palm-lined streets. She rented a place with another Russian girl she met by chance. It made things cheaper, more fun. She started learning French, since most locals spoke it. English was usable, but she wanted to feel like she belonged. And of course, she met new people. One of them was a local man named Puria Versing Sundor. We'll call him Sundor. They'd actually first met online about a year earlier through a dating app. At the time, they just texted. But now on the island, they started seeing each other in person. The relationship wasn't official, but it was definitely more than just friends. And here's where things take a turn. August 17th, a Saturday. Zaliya calls her parents. She says a friend invited her for a mountain trip nearby. Nothing dangerous, just nature, fresh air, beautiful views. "I'll be back tonight and text you," she said. Calm voice, confident tone. But she never came back. No call, no message, no stories. Her phone went silent. Her family immediately knew something was wrong. Zaliya was never careless. If she said she'd text, she did. If she made a promise, she kept it. She had routines, and she never ever just disappeared. Police started with Sundor. He showed up at the station himself. Said yes, they were together that day. Drove to the mountains. Then he claimed she asked to stop the car, said she wanted to go for a walk alone, just to think. Enjoy nature, calm story, no drama. But odd, right? You invite someone on a mountain trip and they suddenly want to wander off alone? In a foreign country? He just left her there? At first, the police didn't push hard. Maybe she got lost. It happens. But the deeper they dug, the more didn't add up. First, people close to Zaliya said it wasn't just a friend, it was a romantic relationship. They had been close. She had considered staying on the island longer because of him. But she had also met someone new, a new boyfriend, and Sundor knew, or at least suspected. Then came the key moment. It turns out Sundor had hacked into her private messages, saw everything, the new relationship, the rejection. She didn't even say no, just told him she needed time, but for him that was enough. So he invited her on a nice drive, planned the whole thing, packed a knife, plastic sheets, a shovel. He knew where they were going, chose a secluded spot with no cameras, no witnesses, and then he killed her. When the evidence began piling up, he confessed. He showed where he buried the body. They found blood in his car, even though he'd tried to clean it. But he missed microscopic traces. Then came the autopsy. Her tongue had been cut out. Not injured, surgically removed. Her throat was missing, over 20 stab wounds. This wasn't panic. This wasn't a sudden outburst. This was rage, deliberate, cold, planned. He didn't just kill her, he made her suffer. This was not a heat-of-the-moment crime, it was an execution. On August 21st, he was arrested. He didn't confess immediately, tried to lie. But when the evidence became overwhelming, he gave up. Showed investigators the exact burial site. Her body was flown back to Russia. She was laid to rest in her hometown. Many people came, family, friends, students. No one could believe such a kind, bright soul was taken like this, by someone she trusted. And then comes the part that should never happen. Almost a year has passed and still no trial. Everything is clear: motive, confession, evidence, location. On September 25th, during a police reenactment, he started crying. Right at the spot where he'd burned her bloody clothes. Maybe it was guilt, maybe it was fear, maybe a show, who knows? But what he showed, step by step, was chilling. How he cleaned the car, burned the clothes, lied to police. It confirmed again. This was all premeditated. Forensics confirmed over 20 wounds. This wasn't one strike. This was hate. He wanted her destroyed. And yet, silence. The trial hasn't started. The police unit handling the case was disbanded. The murderer's family continues partying, smiling on social media, while Zaliya's mother watches. Her mother says, "I want him to rot in prison," but everything's dragging. And you know what really hurts? The comments, the ones that always show up blaming her. Why'd she go with him? Why trust a stranger? Let's be real. Zaliya was kind, smart, experienced. She traveled solo for a year. Adapted, connected, lived. Yes, she trusted people, but he pretended to be normal until it was too late. So let me be clear, this isn't her fault. This is a brutal crime, and yet, nearly a year later, no justice. At the time of this video, the trial hasn't begun. We don't know how it will end. Life sentence? A deal? Or will the case just vanish? But I still believe if enough people speak out, share her story, demand action, justice might come. Even if Zaliya can't be brought back, at least we can fight for accountability, for her family. So if you've watched or read this far, please don't just scroll past. Leave a comment, share this, add your voice. Because the louder we are, the harder it is to ignore. Thank you.